This is the final Premier League Predictor before the World Cup kicks off, so let's make it count. If you want to take part in Premier League Predictor, the rules are on the screen right now. And if you want a World Cup Predictor, hit a like button on this video, because then I'll do a World Cup Predictor for each game of this World Cup so that we can play a similar game to what we play with the Premier League, but on the international stage. As for Premier League Predictor, here are my Game Week 15 results, and it's not looking great, I'm not going to lie to you. I was holding off for a Tottenham win massively last week, because when I put out all of my predictions, I got a lot of grief on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts mainly, from people that were like, "Is this guy only just started watching football?" I was desperate for a Tottenham win, so I was a little bit annoyed when Liverpool pulled it off this weekend. I could have done desperately with Tottenham winning and going back to all those comments and replying with a shush emoji or something. I don't know. It didn't work out that way though. I only got 3 points this game week. It was very poor from me, not brilliant at all. In fact, I've given myself red for City versus Fulham. City 1-2-1. I deserve a green there. You know what? I got 4 points. Again, I've made an ill calculation during this series. Admittedly, it's not going to change the top 3 in our subscribers table this week at least. So it turns out I really can't do maths, and I am massively struggling. I will give myself a little bit of credit in the sense that I end up doing these scores late at night, very late at night, so I will give myself a little bit of leeway on that one. Here are the subscriber results for Game Week 15. Ben came top of the league. I'm pretty sure I got his calculation right this week. He got 11 points, 1 score, 6 results. Stuyben came second with 10 points, 1 score, 5 results. And White Noise got 8 points, 1 score, 3 results. Below are everyone, all the other scores that people put in. And I would obviously be with MW2 and not Annie. So Annie, you're bottom of the table again this week. Unlucky. What I would like to say is this is quality. We had a record amount of people involved this week, and that's what I want to see going forward. So make sure you're playing along, get in the comments and put what your predictions for the Premier League are this week as I go along with my predictions next. And as we go along, you know, like the video, subscribe as well. Game Week 16 is looking like a bit of a tasty one. There's a couple of fixtures in here that do catch my eye. The main one being Newcastle versus Chelsea. I think that is going to be a stellar fixture. The first one to predict is Brentford versus Manchester City. Now, Manchester City have won all their games bar one in the last 6. Brentford have started to sink back down the Premier League table, not having a great run of form recently, only picking up 3 points in the last 4 games. So I think this one's pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to really dabble around this too much. I've put, knowing that Haaland is now back fit and will likely start the game, I've put 4-0. I think this will be a very straightforward Man City win. Brentford obviously don't have the sauce to deal with them. Everton and Bournemouth are going into this fixture in 16th and 17th place respectively, and also with identical form in the last 6 games. This is very much a battle for survival down here. I think that if either of these two teams gets a win, they will push themselves massively away from that relegation battle at this point during the season. I, however, don't think either of them are going to win. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I think it'll be a very even game. With it being the last game before the international break, you'd think that one of them will hopefully take advantage of this and make a bit of a statement before going into this month and a bit's worth of break from the Premier League. But I think both of them are going to draw, 2-2 being the score, and they're both going to find themselves teetering on that relegation zone whilst they sit through and watch the World Cup. Liverpool have quite a nice fixture going into the international break, and that is Southampton. With Southampton at the moment, they're obviously sat in 18th position, very much in a relegation battle with Wolves, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Everton and West Ham and Leicester are probably going to pull away, let's face it. Liverpool, on the other hand, looks good in their last fixture. Darwin Núñez seems to be getting up to speed and is producing some really interesting chances. I think that he's going to be a player now that does step up his game. This international break, whether he's involved with Uruguay or not, I don't know. But this international break will help him massively. If he's not involved at all and he is a matter of just being back at Liverpool training, I think that he'll come back to the Premier League all guns blazing. He's creating chances, he's just not finishing them at the moment. And I think that he is going to come good. I've got a feeling about him now. At the start of the season, I was like, he doesn't look up to it. He's losing his head. He's too hot-headed. Now he looks like Jurgen Klopp has got his arm around him and grounded him a little bit. And he does seem to be creating those chances. And eventually, he will start scoring more of them. So I've gone for 4-1 to Liverpool. I think that it's going to be a pretty straightforward win for them. And as I said, if Nunez starts getting in the goals as Mo Salah comes back into form as well, you might see Liverpool start climbing back up the league. Now, Crystal Palace have quite an impressive form of late. They've only lost 1 game out of their last 6, and they've also won 4 of them. So they're doing very, very well at the moment. They sit 10th in the Premier League table, and they're playing up against Nottingham Forest, of course, bottom of the league. Actually doing a bit better than they were previously, so betting on a loss to Nottingham Forest is not necessarily the best thing to do right now. But I think that Crystal Palace, because of the form they're in, are in a really good position to play against Forest this weekend. I have gone for a 3-0 win to Crystal Palace. I think that it's going to be reasonably straightforward for them. I don't see them really struggling against Forest at all, even though Forest are at home. I just feel like Palace have maybe got too much for them. Saying that, Forest have come up against the likes of Liverpool recently and really surprised us. So we'll stay with an open mind, but I'm hoping for a Crystal Palace win 3-0. Now, Tottenham versus Leeds has a very interesting FIFA-related twist on it this week. You've got Richarlison and you've got some player for Leeds, I can't remember his name, plays in the middle of the park. They both have 1 to watch cards, and both players need 1 more win for their club to get the upgrade before the World Cup comes out. So if Tottenham win, Richarlison goes up to like an 86 rated card, which would benefit me massively because I have him in my team. And if Leeds win, the card will go up to like an 84 rated centre mid card. So both teams, fans who play FIFA, will be hoping for them to win more than ever this week. Do I think that will happen? The answer's no. I actually am going for a bit of a shock result here, because if you look at Leeds' form, it's not great, but arguably Tottenham's is only 1 game better than them with 3 wins out of 6 to Leeds' 2 wins out of 6. So I'm actually going for a draw. This is my shock result of the week. This is the one that I'm kind of throwing out there. It shouldn't really happen, but I'm going for it sort of result. 1-1 draw between these two sides. I just think over the last couple of games, Leeds have shown that they've really dug their heels in and grinded out results. And I'm thinking that's going to be the case here. Leicester City and West Ham are 2 teams that started the season tragically, but they're now starting to climb their way back up the Premier League. In fact, a win for either of these sides would put them up to 11th. If results go their way elsewhere. Now, both teams, as I said, have started to turn the tables, but one team, in my opinion, is doing it much better than the other, and that's Leicester City. Maddison firing all cylinders. Daka starting to get in the goals as well and make chances. I just feel like Leicester themselves look like the better outfit at the moment. West Ham is an illusion to me this year. I do not know what's going on with that club. It's been very strange. The signings they made in the summer, you thought this could be West Ham pushing into the top 5, and it just hasn't happened at all. It's quite the opposite. They've just plummeted down the Premier League. So I'm actually going to be going for a Leicester City win. This is a 6-pointer, really. This is a massive 6-pointer. I've gone for 2-1 to Leicester. But as I've said, this game is huge for both clubs. Whichever team win, just give themselves a buffer to that relegation zone. Chelsea, since Graham Potter took over, haven't looked too pretty. They're currently on a 2-draw, 2-loss streak. It's not looking good for Chelsea right now, especially with Brighton actually above them in the Premier League table. Not looking good for Potter. On the other hand, you've got Newcastle United, who actually equal the last 6 games with Arsenal. They've only dropped points in 1 game, and that was in a draw. In the last 6. The rest of them, they've won every single game. So they have the same record as Arsenal. A better record than Manchester City currently at this point in the Premier League. So Newcastle are doing absolute bits, and this is arguably game of the week. It's a big one. These two teams will want a top 4 finish this season. Only one of them, I believe, will actually get a top 4 finish. And the team winning this game by 2 goals to 1, I think is going to be Newcastle United. The form that these guys are in going into the World Cup is incredible. If you're a national manager and you're looking to pick your side, Gareth Southgate, I'm talking to you. Pick Kieran Trippier, man. This guy is on absolute fire at the moment. Any Newcastle player deserves a position in their national team right now because they've been incredible. I've gone with them winning 2-1, and I think that they're going to cement themselves as a top 3 side this week. Are they in a title race? That's still to be decided, but they could be. I'm pretty sure we can just brush over this fixture, frankly. Wolves are hosting Arsenal this week. Wolves currently sat in 19th in the Premier League, not a good record right now. Arsenal, top of the league, absolutely flying. I only see this going one way. I've gone 3-0 to Arsenal. I don't really need to say much more about it. It's going to be a straightforward fixture for them and an easy prediction for us guys this week. Now, the less we say about Aston Villa's last fixture, the better, because they beat Man United. And it was not an enjoyable watch for any United fan, to say the least. Now, with that, Villa are coming up against Brighton this week. Brighton haven't had a great record recently. They've lost 3 of their last 6 games. However, they still find themselves 6th in the Premier League, which just shows how good their start to the season was. Aston Villa, on the other hand, you know, equally not a great record, but did get a very good win against Manchester United this week under a new manager. So, with that being said, where do I think this is going to go? I'm still going Brighton. I think that with a new manager, a new face in charge last week, it gave Aston Villa a boost for 1 game, and they did pull out a decent result against Manchester United, a very decent result in fact. But I think that was just it was just a momentum that came from a new face. I don't think it's going to be long lasting. I've gone Brighton. I've gone 2-1. I just think Brighton are a class above Aston Villa, and you know they've got back-to-back wins. Brighton, I think they'll build on that. Last game of the week: Manchester United versus Fulham. Now, oh god, Manchester United versus Fulham. United was so poor against Villa. I haven't seen the Manchester United versus Villa game midweek in the Carabao Cup yet. That's still to happen. So I might have different feelings after that. I can only go based on the Premier League game, so I'm recording this on the Wednesday. So, yes, my opinion might change. Equally, it might very much stay the same. I don't know. I've actually gone negative this week. I usually back Man United. I'm usually an optimist with them, but I'm feeling very pessimistic this week. I have gone 1-1. I think Fulham will get a point out of Manchester United. And Man United, for me, out of everyone in the Premier League right now, regardless of where you are in the league, I think United need this international break the most. Alongside Tottenham, if I'm honest, 4th and 5th position in the Premier League, are starting to lose touch with the top 3. Are definitely the top 2. And are starting to slip a little bit. I think they need an international break to regain their thoughts, get in the training ground, work on a couple of things, and come back after that international break, hopefully with a flurry of goals on Boxing Day, because we always love a Boxing Day fixture. But yeah, 1-1 in this game. It's like the Tottenham versus Leeds game. It's a bit of a surprise prediction from me, but if it comes off, I think that that's going to be points that I would gain in the league here on the channel that other people wouldn't be predicting. So here's a roundup of Matt Ayres' Game Week 16 predictions for the Premier League. Manchester City to win 4-0 against Brentford. Bournemouth and Everton to draw 2-2. Liverpool to beat Southampton 4-1. Crystal Palace to win away at Nottingham Forest 3-0. Spurs and Leeds to draw 1-1. West Ham United to lose at home to Leicester 2-1. Newcastle United to win 2-1 at home to Chelsea. Wolves are going to get pummeled by Arsenal 3-0. Brighton to win 2-1 against Aston Villa, and Fulham to get a draw against Manchester United 1-1. The support on this series has been great so far, so if you can continue that by putting your predictions in the comments down below, that would be much appreciated. Like the video as well to help it go further on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one.